First and Second Chronicles. This is around the area of First and Second Samuel and First and Second Kings. And this exile, or the returning from exile, is really towards the end of Second Kings. And of course, he is writing about it, or Ezra is writing about it in Chronicles. While this early book, which is Samuel, Kings, is focusing more on the political aspect. Now it's a lot going on during this area with Samuel and King. A lot going on. And he writes historically, of course, Samuel writes historically about everything that is going on with David. All the issues with David, all the great things with David, and then all the not so great things with David. I say it right now, not so great things about David. But in Chronicles, let me say David, so he is mostly focusing on the political events, the prophetic perspective, both north and southern kingdom, and he emphasizes the moral failure of, this is the northern tribe, or the northern kingdom. So they're emphasizing mostly on them, but also giving attention to the southern kingdom. But Chronicle, the religious aspect, or the religious history, we're focusing on the Davidic dynasty in Judah. They focus spiritual heritage, the priestly perspective, emphasizing on Judah and David's line, and highlights God's faithfulness. Go ahead. Ain't my slide. Now I'm still breathing hard from that jumping up and down. Jumping up and down. About the third jump, my knees reminded me, you're going a little high there. You're going a little high there, so excuse me. The structure of First Chronicles. The royal line of David. It's heavy on David. The genealogy tracing God's people from Abraham to exile. And the reign of David, chapter 10, this first part from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 10 talks about all this genealogy. Of course, it begins with Judah. Extremely good reading for a different purpose. Because not a different purpose, because Ezra is also helping us trace the line of Jesus Christ. And he's showing us how Christ is coming out of the lineage of David. From Judah, out of the lineage of David, which is extremely important. You'll see as we go. The reign of David's accession to kings, acquiring of the ark, the military victories, and the preparation for the temple. David was focused on getting that ark back into Jerusalem. Very important part of the way that the Chronicles write it. Very important part. Because you remember, I think Dr. Moody talked about it today. The ark, you know what the ark was first constructed in Exodus. In Exodus 25. So it's constructed in Exodus 25. And it represents the presence of God. What does it have in it? Aaron's bud, 10 Commandments, and the manna from heaven. It represents the presence of God. So now, it is very crucial to David that he gets it back in. Now, Ezra doesn't talk about several of these things, because Ezra is more concerned about the spiritual perspective of Chronicles, not the mess. Not the mess. Not that it's not important. Not that it's not important. It is important for us to know, because we understand how we learn how what David went through, and we learn how to be redeemed like David was, or we learn how to be reconciled like David was. We learned that we can have some bad moments, some bad days, some bad months, and God can still restore me. God can still reconcile me. So it's still important. But to this author, in this time, what God wanted him to do was focus on the spiritual aspect of David's lineage. Amen? The Hebrew title meaning in 2 Chronicles, originally one continuous work of Hebrews. So in the book of Hebrews, with book of Hebrews, the Greek version of the Hebrew Bible is the Greek version. What'd you say? The Septuagint. The Greek version of the Hebrew Bible. So in the Greek version of the Hebrew Bible, this was, where's that hard word? Diberia hanum. Amen. 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 Which is the closest English translation would be the events of the time, which is great because he's using the events of the time of David to bring back to the returning Israelites from exile. Because we don't want to make these mistakes anymore, right? Amen? Because there's some serious mistakes were made here. Now, Chronicles, I think this is kind of a bad thing. A couple of scholars agree with me. It's called the leftover books. But it might be different, why they call it the leftover book. Because in Chronicles, again, he is not talking about the negative things of David. He ain't talking about Bathsheba. He's not talking about Ezra. He's not talking about all of these things. All he is focused on strictly on mostly the spiritual aspect. Now, oftentimes, because the book of Ezra received some criticism, because they didn't have all of these things. And that could be gossipers. That could be gossiping theologians that think all that stuff should be in the book, all that stuff. So they denote it by saying it's the leftover book. Whatever is not in Samuel and Kings, throw it in Chronicles. That's a mess. Because the name suggests it merely contains omitted things from Samuel and Kings. So they're just saying that he is just omitted, like you just forgot I didn't know it. Forgot that I didn't know it. But I want you to know, as we're going to go in just a little bit, Ezra was on point. Now y'all do realize exacting Ezra came from this Ezra. Okay, we good though? Okay, good. Y'all don't look surprised. So y'all was, when Dr. Moody told me, I was, duh. Okay. But, okay. Jerome's title and biblical scope. Jerome titles the Bible. Now, Jerome is one of the church fathers. He is one of the people that wrote the Latin Vulgate, the Bible, the Latin Vulgate. And you'll find that the King James Version is a translation of the Latin Vulgate. So the beginning, the descendants of Adam, because this is where we start. We're starting in the first chapter of Chronicles. The descendants of Adam, he outlines the descendants of Adam, the restoration in the new year of the king Cyrus, the king Cyrus of Persia. King Cyrus of Persia is the king over Persia. They call him King Cyrus the Great or King Cyrus the Anointed One. So they really like King Cyrus. But King Cyrus was the one that led the Persians in the defeat of the Babylonians. This passage indicates that Chronicles presents the history of the world and the creation of humanity to the restoration of the Jews in Babylonian exile. I hope you're feeling that, because you realize how bad you would need restoration as you're returning from exile. Just think about it like this. You should be able to relate more and more. The Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863. So the slaves were released in 1863. Can you imagine what they must have felt like? What they must have felt like being released from slavery. Now, Texas didn't give theirs up until 1865, but we'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about that another time. Again, the Jewish tradition largely associates the authorship Chronicles to Ezra. Because Ezra come out of the line of Aaron. Aaron, of course, we're talking about the same Aaron in Exodus. So Ezra come out of that priestly line. So it's strongly suggested, they strongly believe that he is the author of this book. But they're saying there's no direct evidence of it. But Ezra had all of these skills. The temple and sacred service, priestlyhood and Levitical duties, theoretical line of David in Judah, detailed the knowledge of the temple operation. Ezra knew all of this stuff. He was a part of all of this stuff. He was raised in all of this stuff. So the scholars really believe, and I believe too. I'm gonna get on down. I believe too. About the author, Ezra, the priest and scribe, the priest heritage, the priest from the line of, like I told you, the line of Aaron, the scholarly excellence. He knew the laws of Moses. Aaron had some skills. He knew the law of Moses. He equipped the interpretation of history through the divine revelation. Ezra had some skills. Leadership role, he led priests, Levites, and people back from Babylon to Jerusalem, understanding both exile and restoration. The royal commission appointed by King Xerxes. So King Xerxes, Artaxerxes, I'm saying it right, Artaxerxes. Did I say it right, Dick and Richard? He said it. He commissioned Ezra to go and to assist and to help and to do whatever he needed to do. Amen. So, go ahead and tell. Oh, you already did. Oh, go ahead, Mariah. I'm feeling like Dr. Moody a little bit. Just a little. But I know how to get y'all out of here. The book emphasizes, the Chronicles and the temple. So it emphasizes, the focus is on the temple focus, detailed the description of the temple construction because it was tore apart. So they're reconstructing the temple and the furnishings, operating, demonstrating knowledge, the Levitical prominence, extensive attention to the Levites and their duties suggests authorship within the sacred group. In Jerusalem Center consists focus of Jerusalem, indicates authors living in Persia.
Thank you for worshiping with us today. If you're in need of prayer or someone to talk to, our online ministers are available for you right now in the chat. And we invite you to join us again for our extraordinary worship services every Sunday at 10:30 a.m., Sunday at 4 p.m., and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central, where Dr. Moody teaches how to understand the Bible and you can get your biblical questions answered. We look forward to connecting with you and ask that you subscribe to The Rock ATX on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay connected to all The Rock is doing. Also, you can connect with us through our website at therockatx.org. Again, thank you for worshiping with us, and be blessed.